Hey, family and friends, this is Dr. Angel Cartagena, your marriage and divorce coach, coming to you with this week's edition of Tuesday Tips. One of the things that can make divorce a challenging and difficult experience is when there are children involved. And one of the most heartbreaking things for me, not only as a pastor, but as a dad, is to see couples who will go after each other and go at one another with such vitriol and such anger that they don't seem to care what happens to the kids and how the kids get caught in the middle. And so my thing is to come before you with some suggestions about how to handle divorce when you have kids. Now, the first thing is you need to have the right attitude. And the right attitude is this: whether you like it or not, if you had children with your soon to be ex, your ex, whatever current status you have in terms of your divorce journey, if you had kids with this person, this part of you will always remain married to that other person. This is one of those things that will upset people that I'm coaching or counseling through this experience because man, that breakup was harsh and it was hard and they can't stand that person. But the truth is that you have to have that mindset. In fact, I want to add to that the fact that as you start to consider the possibility of not only dating but maybe even remarrying, that whoever you remarry has to have that same understanding that they're not only marrying you, they're marrying your kids and they're marrying your ex-spouse, because that person will always be there. Understand? Especially if you spent a long time married to them. And so it becomes important for you to have, first of all, the proper mindset, and that is that this part of you will always be married to them. The second thing you need to do is to understand that children have the need for security. This is the need they have when you're married. This is the need that they have after you're married. And so it becomes important for the two of you to be able to, first of all, agree that whatever rules you had about raising the kids, those will remain in place. So, for example, one common situation I come to is parents were dutiful about making their children go to bed at a certain time. They had a bedtime. Studies show that this is necessary for raising healthy kids, not only physically, but mentally and socially and emotionally. And so, mom, in the scenario that I'm thinking about, will keep that bedtime at the same time, but dad decides he's going to let his kids stay up. This is listen, I'm gonna call it what it is. It's just an unsavory tactic for you to try and win your kids over to your side. Mom is here trying to keep the rules, and you're over here trying to create Disney for them, and it's wrong. Both of you need to keep the same, as close to the same routine as you possibly can at both homes. And so, in that spirit, here's the one thing that I want to suggest: that if you've divorced and you have children, you need to consider seriously taking some co-parenting classes. In fact, I'm heartbroken because I can't remember the name of the organization. I think it was called the National Resiliency Center. And if someone from my Maryland family remembers that, if you can affirm this in the comments, I'd greatly appreciate it. But it was an organization that had a fantastic co-parenting course. Every couple that took it found themselves at the end of it being able to communicate, being able to organize and cooperate in terms of how to raise the kids. And the kids felt better about mom and about dad, even though the reality of divorce was not going to go away. And so I strongly recommend that you take co-parenting classes. Now, I will tell you sadly that my experience as a pastor is that oftentimes dads are the ones who are reluctant to do this. And unfortunately, the law oftentimes doesn't do anything to help in this regard. I do know that there are judges and courts who will mandate co-parenting, but I don't find that to be a consistent practice in the legal system. If your ex, however, is truly a Christian and they are submitted to the authority of their church, whether you have the same church or different churches, I would approach church leadership about trying to get him to cooperate. Now, by the way, I just want to make sure that I speak in generalizations and experience. Yes, I have had couples where the husband wanted to co-parent and the wife did not. So it goes both ways. But my whole point is that if you can find it in your heart, if you truly love your children, and if you truly are disciples of the Lord, then you must cooperate in this endeavor of raising your kids together. One of the things I am most grateful for is that despite having gone, after 26 years of marriage, gone through the experience of divorce, and my ex-wife and I were then and continue to be totally and completely in agreement with regards to this, that we will always act in the best interest of our children. And by the way, our children are adults now, but they're still our children, and we love them and we adore them and we want what's best for them. And so my prayer is that you'll do that. My heart leads me to actually add a couple of extra points with this regard in terms of co-parenting. One of the abominations that I would run into, and again, I have to say, based on my experience, it was usually the guy who did this. All right, I'm just saying it was the guy who would do this. He would start dating again. Mom would have questions, and the posture that he would take is, this is none of your business. I'm sorry, my brother, but especially if you are a disciple of Jesus Christ, that is a lie, it is a falsehood, and you are wrong. And I'm calling you out as a pastor and a man. The truth is, once again, go back to my first principle in all of this, that no matter how angry the divorce, no matter how horrible the divorce, no matter how long you were married and how difficult the divorce was, the truth is that this part of you will always remain married. And so what does that mean? Mom has a right to know who you're spending time with and who you're bringing the children around. It works the other way also. Dad has a right to know, Mom, who you're hanging around and who's spending time at your house. And so please don't take that attitude with your ex. If they have questions about who you're bringing the children around, where you're taking the children, all of that, those are legitimate questions. They have a right to ask them, and they have a right to answers. And I don't care whether the courts say that you do or don't. Morally, you should respond to those, and you should respond to those questions truthfully. And so I hope this helps. I hope that this will encourage some of you, and especially in those instances where your ex has asked you to co-parent and you're being hesitant and you're not doing, listen, do it. It is for the good of the children. And listen, you will also find that it will create a structure of communication between you and your ex that will make everything else possible, including should you decide to remarry again. You guess what? Your ex is going to need to be able to talk to your spouse sometimes about what is good and right for the kids. And so once again, if you have any information that you want to get, if you want to get in touch with me about getting help for your situation, you can always go to drangelcartagena.com. That's all one word, drangelcartagena.com. And there's a contact form there where you can reach me. I will be only more than happy to help you out in your situation. So listen, I hope that this was helpful to all of you. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. Remember, God loves you, and so do I.